Hello everyone out there and welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone day is going well on today. Today is Friday, June the 21st. So we almost out of June. And so I want to go right into the message that God gave me on today. And the title of my message is The Blessing in Serving Others. I'm going to say the title again, The Blessing in Serving Others. And so, first of all, I just want to say, as we go through the process of waiting on God to bless us, to fulfill His promises in our life, a lot of times what we do is get consumed with it. We begin to just think day in and day out about when God is going to do it and how He's going to do it. Just so caught up in ourselves that we forget that God has called all of His people, all Christians. He has called all of us to serve. To serve. And see, God, He wants us to get our mind off of ourselves and be concerned about other people's needs. So when we begin to serve others, it will open up the opportunity for you to witness to people about the goodness of Jesus. The goodness, as well as it will give you an opportunity, because only an opportunity to help other people as well, to find out what their needs are. Sometimes, we want to just talk to people and tell them things. Talk to them and just, quote. Some people want to quote scriptures and just talk to them. And ain't nothing wrong with talking to people, but sometimes it's going to take more than just talking to them. You're going to have to show some action. People want to know that you care about them. Not just a bunch of talk, because that's all people done seen anyway. People talking a good talk but nothing behind it. And so, like I said, people, they want to know that you care. Because there's so many needs out there. People are really suffering. I never seen so many people on the corner begging. You used to just see maybe one or two people here and there, but now you see people everywhere asking for help. Asking for help. And that's whether, people have so many needs, like I said. Whether it's they hungry and they need some food, whether they need money to pay bills, they might need a bill paid, or whether they need a ride. Some people don't have a car, so they need a ride to the store. They might need a ride to the doctor. And God knows if we have the ability to do these things. And so so if you have the ability to do what a person needs, then God expects you to do it. He expects you to help them. He expects you to help them. See, because we are the body of Christ. God does not have a physical body. So that's why He needs us. He needs us to be His feet, and He needs us to be His hands. And so I want to go to the book of Matthew, the 9th chapter, because it talks about laborers. And what is a labor? A laborer is a person that works. And so in the 9th chapter of Matthew, the 37th and the 38th verse, I want to go there. And it says, "Then said He unto His disciples, The harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that He will send forth laborers into the harvest." And so God, He needs workers. And He also wants us to pray about Him sending even more people forth, because the harvest is plenteous. This is the perfect time for us to be soul winners. And so, like I said, we can be not only witnesses, but if you have the ability to fulfill a need, He wants you to do that also. And see, God wants us to be selfless, not selfish. but selfless. Selfless means putting other people's needs before our own. Because see, God said He's going to take care of your need. But He wants you to get your mind off of yourself. Off of yourself. Because if you take care of other people's needs, God is going to take care of what you want Him to take care of as well. In return. Galatians 6:9 says, whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he reap. That shall he reap. So if you're sowing good things, then good things are going to come to you. And so we have to get our minds off ourselves. And what we going through. Because I just thought about, how a lot of times people, like I said, you want to talk to people and witness to them. But sometimes it takes a little bit more to open that door for them to listen to you. Because sometimes people, they just don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear about God. I just remember the time when people used to try to talk to me about God. I didn't want to hear what they were saying. I felt like they was hypocrites as well, because they would be talking about God on one end, then they'd be talking about people at the same time, out of the same mouth. But I just remember the time when I was working in a mall. Because I always been the type of person that wants to help people. I always been like, even as a kid, if I seen little kids with their head not combed, I would be trying to fix them up as a little kid. I don't know why I was like that. But kids in my neighborhood, if I would see people not looking a certain way, I would try to fix their hair, just to make them look better. So that's always been in me. Because a lot of times people telling you, if you give, God will give back to you. Of course He will. But it's the heart behind it. A lot of times people are doing things just to get something from God. But see, it's about the relationship. It's about the love. Because if you love God, then you're going to love other people. A lot of times it's just about, if you sow this amount, then God is going to pour out a blessing on you. And so then that means you're just doing things to get. You're not doing it from your heart. And see, God is looking at our heart. So you have to tell people the truth. If you're just trying to use God to get what you want, for you to be elevated, then a lot of times you're going to be disappointed. Because see, that's just like somebody, they doing something for you, but they not doing it with the right motive. And they doing it because they just want to get something from you. How would you feel? It ain't going to make you feel good at all, because you're going to feel used, like somebody is just trying to use you. You think God don't feel the same way? Yeah. You have to tell people the truth. And so God, He wants us to have a heart to serve. And I just, like I said, I remember when I worked in the mall, and this one guy, he would ride the bus. And he would ride the bus to the mall, but he was, actually they would just catch the bus out in front of the mall, but he would always come in the mall and sit and wait on his bus. And so as I would be walking through the mall and stuff, I just began to notice him. I began to notice his feet, and he was wearing these boots, and they were so raggedy. He had them taped up with tape, and it just was in my mind. I said, I'm gonna ask him, do he need some boots? I wanted to buy him some more shoes, because his shoes were very raggedy, but this man was going to work every day with them shoes on. And so once I told him that I wanted to buy him some boots, he said it was okay. And so we was already in the mall, so I went into the shoe store, and I was able to find him some nice boots. I think I bought them when he went there. I just asked him what size he wore, and I found him some at a reasonable price, and so I bought him these boots. But after I bought him these boots, I began to witness to this man on a regular basis. So I know it gives you an opportunity. When you do stuff for people, it will open up an opportunity for you to witness to them. And I witnessed for this man, I witnessed to this man for quite a while. This man actually would be waiting on me to come his way, because he would only be in the mall for a few minutes. And I would be talking to him about Jesus. But I'm just saying this is just an example because see, I know this for myself that it can be a tool sometimes when you help people, it will open their heart to listen to you. And so I want to go to Matthew, the 20th chapter. And so we have to have a heart to serve. I want to go to the 20th chapter. I want to read the 25th through the 28th verse. And it says, but Jesus called them unto him and said, ye know. Wait a minute, this is not the right. Wait a minute, let me make sure I'm writing the right thing. Okay, I'm saying it right. The 25th verse, it says, but Jesus called them unto him and said, see what was going on. I'm going to say that first. What was going on in this chapter was that James and John, the son of Zebedee, they asked Jesus could they sit on his right hand and on his left. So they wanted to be in a leadership position. But Jesus told them, are you willing to drink the cup that I'm about to drink? Because they didn't really understand what Jesus was about to go through. And so he was explaining to them that it's not about having dominion, that they are not to have dominion over each other. And so this is what it said in that 25th verse. I'm going to read that again. It says, but Jesus called them unto him and said, ye know the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them, and they that are great exercise authority upon them. But it shall not be so among you. But whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister. And whosoever will be chief among you, let them be your servant. Let them be your servant. So he's saying, if you want to be great, then I want you to serve. I want you to serve. And see, a lot of times your healing and your deliverance, a lot of times it will come as you begin to help other people. And sometimes people that's going through the very same thing that you are going through. And I know this for myself because I remember when I was going through my divorce, and it was so very hard. It was so many things going on at one time. It was all consuming because it just like it was one thing behind the other that I was going through. But during that time, God, he just had me to get my mind off myself, because when I was working and in the mall, he just began to send people to me and they would tell me their problems. I could have said, I didn't really feel like helping nobody else, but I don't know. It's just God put it in my spirit. It wasn't even like I'm saying I'm finna go encourage somebody else so I can feel better. It was nothing like that. It just seemed to happen that people would come to me and they would tell me their problems, and next thing you know, I'd be witnessing to them about the goodness of God, and also talking about my own self. Telling them about my own self, because a lot of times God was sending women to me that was going through similar things that I was going through. And I'm telling you, eventually as I began to walk out that thing, getting my mind off myself, my healing began to come just by helping other people. And so I know that what I'm saying to you is true. We have to get our minds off ourselves and be concerned about what's going on with other people. That's what it's about. Because a lot of times they people, what about me? What about me? Getting so, they so depressed. You so depressed and down. You don't know that it will lift all that up off of you if you will get your mind off of you. Because God eventually, he's going to deliver you out of whatever you're dealing with. And see, I just want to talk about two people in the Bible that God, he poured out blessings on them because they had a heart of a servant. And so first of all, I want to talk about Ruth. because in the book of Ruth, it talks about how Ruth had lost her husband at a very young age. You know, I think Ruth was still pretty young when she lost her husband. And so after she lost her husband, there was Oprah. It don't say if they were sisters though. So I think they might have been sister-in-laws. And it also talks about Naomi. Naomi, her mother-in-law, was left. And so Naomi had not only lost her husband, but she had also lost both of her sons, because Oprah and Ruth were married to her 2 sons. And so after she lost her husband, as I said, Ruth, you know, she know that Naomi needed help. She needed help. And so Oprah, she went back to her people because they were in Moab, and so Naomi decided to return to her home. And Ruth said that she was not going to leave her. So she began to get her mind off of what she was dealing with, because she could have became bitter because of what had happened to her. But she got her mind off herself, and she began to, you know, fulfill the needs of her mother-in-law, serving her. And once she got back to Naomi's hometown, do you know what she had did for serving her mother? It had got around. Everybody knew about her, that she was a virtuous woman, and it even got into the ears of Boaz. And Boaz was a great man. He was a rich man. And see, eventually God blessed her with another husband, and that husband was to be Boaz. And he rewarded her because of her faithfulness. She remained faithful in serving her mother-in-law. She was not concerned about herself. And then also in the book of Acts, I want to go to the book of Acts, which talks about Dorcas. I want to go to the book of Acts, the 9th chapter. The 9th chapter, I want to read that 36 through the 41st verse. And it says, "Now there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas. This woman was full of good works and alms deeds, which she did." That means she was helping people. "And it came to pass in those days that she was sick and died, whom when they had washed, they laid her in an upper chamber. And for as much as Lydia was nigh to Joppa, and the disciples had heard that Peter was there, they sent unto him 2 men, desiring him that he would not delay to come to them. Then Peter arose and went with them, and when he was come, they brought him into the upper chamber. And all the widows stood by him weeping, and showing the coats and garments which Dorcas made while she was with them. So she had made them all these beautiful coats and garments, and sold, she had sold clothes for people. And so they were very sad because her loss was great, because she was a great help to people. But Peter put them all forth and kneeled down and prayed, and turned him to the body, said, "Tabitha, arise." And she opened her eyes, and when she saw Peter, she sat up. And he gave her his hand and lifted her up. And when he had called the saints and the widows, presented her alive. And so God raised this lady from the dead. He revived her life because of all the people she served. And so God will reward you when you have a heart to serve his people. And so also I want to read in the 25th chapter of Matthew. And so, as I said again, God is calling us to serve. In that 25th chapter, the 34th through the 34th through the 46th verse, It says, then shall, and this is God talking about at the end of the world, about rewarding people that have served for him, and then for the ones that have not served. It says what's going to happen to them as well. And it says, then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come ye blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was a hungered, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. Naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer, saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hungered, and he fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger, and took thee in? Or naked, and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick, or in prison, and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as you have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Then shall he say unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was a hungered, and you gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you took me not in. Naked, and you clothed me not. Sick, and in prison, and you visited me not. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee in hunger, or a thirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee? Then shall he answer them, saying, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as you did it not to one of the least of these, ye did it not to me. So the Lord say, when you're not helping people, you're not helping me. You're not helping me. And it says, these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into life eternal. So that's our end reward. It's everlasting life. And so if you haven't been serving, you still got time to get started. Serving other people, because it's a blessing in serving other people. And I would encourage you to start today and watch God change your circumstances. Watch God work on your behalf. Amen. Bye bye for now.